Michigan's lieutenant governor is making a major political pivot today, ending his run for governor and setting his sights on a new office. Tonight, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist joining us himself to explain why he's running for Secretary of State now. Thanks so much for joining us, Lieutenant Governor. We really appreciate your time. In your video announcement today, you said now was just not the right time to run for governor. I asked you what changed and why are you getting out of the race for governor now?
Well, Ty, I really appreciate all the people who supported me across Michigan and across the country to be the next governor of Michigan. And the time, may come for me to serve in that office. But what I heard in my conversations with people, all the way from the Upper Peninsula and across northern Michigan to down through Southwest Michigan and all the way to the east side of Detroit, where I'm from, people talked about the high cost of living and unavailability of childcare and housing. But they also had this remarkable consistency where they talked about the fact that they were worried about President Trump and his allies' threat to democracy, the damage and danger they pose to it, and the voting system, and not caring about voting rights and recognizing that if our voting system doesn't work, we can't vote in people who are going to hold corporations accountable. We can't vote in people who are going to protect our water and our environment, our Great Lakes. We can't vote in people that are going to make anything better for working Michiganders. And so it's kind of the system that underlies all the systems. And I thought back to, the first time I ran for office, it was to be an election administrator when I ran for Detroit City Clerk in 2017. I thought back to the fact that I'm an engineer, I'm a problem solver and a system builder that makes systems work for people. And I just felt, after reflection, that that was the role I needed to play, to respond to Michiganders who are calling for that system that needs to work so we can fix everything else. And that's why I made this choice. And that's why I'm running for Secretary of State of Michigan.
Let's talk about the timing of this. Before the pivot, poll numbers were in favor of Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson for the Democratic nomination for governor. With that reality in mind, one might ask, is this campaign pivot about maybe preparing for another run for governor later on in the future or a different office, or is this your long-term commitment as Secretary of State?
This campaign pivot is about being the next Secretary of State of Michigan. Nobody pressured me or, leaned on me to make this choice. I chose this because I'm responding to what Michiganders said, and they feel like, I am a person who's uniquely qualified to do this role in this moment. I mean, think about it. The Secretary of State's office has more personal data and information than any other department in state government. And the big tech companies and the Trump administration want to data mine all that information. The Trump administration is trying to surveil it and suing to get that data so they can attack communities in Michigan like they're doing in states across the country. And as a technologist and a software engineer, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to stand tall and defend Michiganders' privacy and data from this administration. And nobody else running for Secretary of State can say they have the skills and ability to do that. And so I'm excited to serve the people of Michigan in this role at this moment.
Lieutenant Governor, for voters watching in Detroit tonight, how would their experience with state government be different 1 year into a Gilchrist term as Secretary of State?
All of us have a relationship with the Secretary of State's office, whether it's through licensing and registration and going into the offices. And I'm going to build on the progress that's been made by the professionals in that department, making sure that you can continue to make an appointment and have a smooth process. I'm going to improve what we can do when people drop in and make sure you can get your needs taken care of in a really convenient way. We're going to bring services into the 21st century. I'll work to make sure that we can digitize IDs in Michigan so we can have your ID on your phone, because people lose their ID a lot more often than they lose their cell phone these days. You can have that with you. And there are other things that we can roll out. But I'm about supporting the people, not only in this city, but across the state, to have a 21st century Secretary of State's experience, and I'm going to deliver it.
Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist pivoting, running now for Secretary of State and dropping out of the race for governor. Thank you so much for taking the time to let us know your plans.
Thanks for having me, Ty.
All right, nice clean break there. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much. We're going to get this on the 5 o'clock news. It'll, of course, be on the website and probably some other shows tonight as well. So thank you again. And keep us posted on everything as the race proceeds. We want to be the first to be able to get that information to everybody, okay?
Not about it. You should add that Carpenter's endorsement to whatever you run on it then, okay?
Okay. You got it.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, talk to you soon. All right.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye.